Nigel Farage has spent 40 years trying to crack America. He's been commuting across the Atlantic since the late 80s. He's done the Trump rallies, the Fox News slots, the inaugurations, and this week it finally happened. A full prime-time segment about Nigel Farage on American national TV. Millions of viewers, a serious anchor, and his name in the graphics. There's just one small tiny problem. Halfway through, she had to stop and point at the screen to explain which man he was. Because the other man, well, he's wearing a bin. I'm going to show you the whole thing, and I promise it gets worse for him the longer it goes on. But first, 30 seconds of context so the clip it makes sense. This is MSNOW, that's MSNBC rebranded. I'll be honest with you, I don't watch American news, so I'm not really sure. But apparently it's still one of the biggest news networks in America, and the anchor is Katie Tur, who is probably a big deal over there. I'm guessing so anyway. Her show was covering the Clacton by-election, the one Farage triggered himself, remember, by resigning his seat while under parliamentary standards investigation for over the 5 million undeclared gifts. A sum he insists that involves no wrongdoing whatsoever, which is why he definitely needed to dissolve his own job about it. Every major UK party is boycotting the contest as a stunt, leaving one undeclared opponent so far. And here's how America introduced that opponent, and to him.
All right, so it turns out the U.S. isn't the only place where politics can feel like a flying circus. Meet Count Binface. There he is. He is the sole challenger to Nigel Farage, the leader of the UK's Reform Party.
Now notice what she reached for to explain who Farage is. She didn't mention like Brexit or the party leader leading in the polls who could be the possible future Prime Minister of the UK. Oh no. The one reference point she trusted American viewers to recognise was this.
You've seen him on the campaign trail with Donald Trump. He is running for the parliamentary seat that Farage just gave up.
That's it. The entire American footprint. 40 years of transatlantic schmoozing, and his identity over there is, yeah, you've seen him standing next to Trump. He's essentially the background extra in somebody else's story. Which brings us to the moment that actually made me want to make this video.
Farage, the guy on the right in this video right here, is currently under investigation for millions of pounds of gifts he's received from wealthy backers. He's denied any wrongdoing. But he quit Parliament in order to trigger what is called a by-election out there. It allows him to sidestep the investigation to, in his words, allow voters to judge his actions.
The guy on the right in the video is here, a national news anchor on a segment about him, giving the audience directions to his face. And she had to, because the man sharing the screen with him has a bin on his head. Now, she generally could not assume her viewers would not know who was. I mean, the guy's got a bin on his head. In December, Farage gave the interview reminiscing about the 2016 Republican convention, where he boasted even the bartenders knew who he was. 10 years on, and it's clear the news anchors don't. When Farage announced this by-election, he stood at the podium and made a point of telling everyone he had plenty of offers for work in the United States. It was the flex, it was the safety net. Britain doesn't deserve me, America awaits. Well, America has now looked up from those alleged offers, taken its first proper look to him in years, and filed him under trash can adjacent. Now, I'll be covering every twist of this right up into the August by-election, so subscribe if you want to follow it properly, and memberships are also open as well if you can afford it and you'd like to support the channel. Then she plays the BBC's interview with his sole opponent, Count Binface, intergalactic space warrior, creation of comedian John Harvey, previously known as Lord Buckethead. And hand on heart, the bin gives a better answer than Farage has, what he's managed in the last 6 months of doorstepping.
Why would an intergalactic space warrior want to stand to be the MP for Clacton?
Why not?
It's a good question. Tell me about your manifesto. What can you offer the people of Clacton? Have you ever been there?
No, because I understand from the current incumbent that is part of how you do the job. So I deliberately stayed away. Is that how it works?
Asked if he's ever visited Clacton? No, because he understood from the current incumbent that staying away is part of the job. I mean, that's a tighter piece of political attack writing than anything actual opposition parties produced before they all went home. And it works because it's true. I'm pretty sure he's spent more time in Clacton this week, now he's back on the campaign trail, than he has in the last 2 years. Then the manifesto, building at least one affordable house, which, given the current government's record, counts as a wide-eyed ambition. Nationalising Adele, a policy you probably could see costed. Bringing back CFAX. I loved CFAX back in the day. And then moving the hand dryer and the gents at the Crown and Treaty in Uxbridge to a more sensible position. I mean, if you look at this picture, you can understand why. I mean, a man should have one deliverable he can actually deliver.
What makes this unusual is that Farage has nobody else to run against. Everyone else is boycotting it because they see it as a political stunt, which means that on August 6th, Farage is going to have to actively prove to voters that he's better than a garbage bin.
Actively prove that voters he's a better than garbage bin. American primetime television said that sentence about the man who wants to be our prime minister. Okay, but let's be serious for like 90 seconds, because underneath all the comedy, there's a genuine electoral problem for Farage, and I don't think he's actually clocked it yet. In 2024, he won the Clacton general election with 46.2% of the vote, 21,225 votes in total. It's a decent margin, but flip it around. 53.8% of Clacton voted for somebody else. Now, yeah, granted, that was spread across Labour and the Tories and the rest. That split is what elected him. This time, with all the major parties standing aside, every anti-Farage voter in the constituency has precisely one box available. Now, nominations haven't closed yet, and so more names may appear on the paper. I've heard Lawrence Fox is wanting to do it. But as things stand, the entire opposition vote funnels through one man in a bin. Ipsos already found the public would sooner see Binface win this thing than Farage by 12 points. And yes, that's a national preference poll rather than the Clacton one, but you just take it with a pinch of salt. But you never know. And in my opinion, the American coverage is the part that Farage will actually lose sleep over. His entire post-Clacton insurance policy is Trump's world. The offers, the speaking circuit, the cryptocurrencies. Trump's operation is a non-negotiable entry requirement, and all it is winning. There's no version of I lost my own by-election to a man dressed in a bin that survives contact with that crowd. He's engineered this contest to look like a martyr, and if it goes wrong, he doesn't just lose his seat, he loses a story that he can tell about himself on both sides of the Atlantic. He's called this election to prove the establishment couldn't beat him. Nobody from the establishment even turned up, and the man who did is currently the most quotable politician in Britain and does his interviews through a letterbox slot in the side of his head. He's never once dodged a question about his attendance record, that's for sure. August, save the date. Oh, and, bring your own bin bags. And if you think America's laughing at him hard, well, wait until you hear what his friends are saying back home. The right-wing press has started turning on Farage over this by-election. One of the Telegraph's own podcasts called it possibly the biggest mistake of his career, and when Reform sent their London mayoral candidate out to defend it, well, yeah, she falls apart on camera a lot. That whole unravelling is in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.